We want to talk about Harry and Meghan, quite sexistly titled
Harry first.
Netflix docuseries. Why is Harry the first one named in the title?
Because
very misogynist, if you ask me.
Patriarchy. Of
Yes,
course.
because the patriarchy is going to patriarchy. And I wish that we could react to the trailer for this docuseries with you guys. It was released on Monday. It was absolutely ridiculous, and they already were coming in with the race baiting, and the narration basically had Harry saying that the media comes after all of the women who marry into the royal family. And it just seemed like it was going to be a victimhood pity party from the very beginning. And that's what it is. They released the first 3 episodes today, and the next 3 extremely underwhelming, boring episodes are going to come out next week.
Do you think he asks permission to get something from the fridge?
Yep.
I think he does.
Do you think that Prince Harry sleeps on the couch?
No. I think that she gets the most of the bed and he gets a corner.
He gets like no blankets.
She gets the blankets and he definitely asks permission to eat before dinner.
He's so beta. Like when I look at any of the pictures of them together, it looks like she's running the show. And that's also how it looks in this docuseries. He looks totally spaced out. He looks like a zombie. He's just following orders.
Let's play we can at least play this
Yeah,
clip from
let's
TMZ.
play this clip that shows how Meghan Markle really feels about the UK.
Don't copyright us, bro.
Very different to be a minority but not be treated as a minority right off the bat. Obviously now people are very aware of my race because they made it such an issue when I went to the UK, but before that, most people didn't treat me like a black woman. So that talk didn't have to happen for me.
What I think she just tacitly admitted is that America is better than Britain. Thank you.
No, I think that she's actually just showing her disdain for the public in the UK, actually. Meghan Markle, who treated you differently or discriminated against you for your race in the UK back when you moved there? I think that the media coverage around her and Harry was almost completely positive until they started ramping up the hypocrisy over the years and showing their contempt for the public, for the royal family and his background, and for the media. And now they're using this docuseries to frame it like the bad racist media and the bad racist royal family and the horrible racist public of the UK forcefully drove us out of our own country, and now we have to go live as exiles pretending to be like the Kardashians in America.
With Oprah.
Yeah, like going on Oprah, taking multi-million-dollar deals with Netflix, with Spotify,
They also just
making
got,
the absolute most of their public status.
They also just won an award for anti-racism last week.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because what did they do? What did they accomplish?
They complained about racism. Therefore, here's your award on anti-racism.
And there was this incredibly manipulative part of the docuseries that I read about where they showed this young girl who was black saying that she hopes that Harry and Meghan's public relationship will I have to go find the quote, but it was incredibly manipulative. It was about improving race relations in Britain.
She wanted to be Kate Middleton, Princess Diana so badly. Yeah. And it just, for whatever reason, she claimed it was because everyone's racist, right? Yep. But it just didn't happen for her. So when the game didn't go her way, her and Harry decided to quit. But they framed it at the time as we don't want to be in the public's eye all the time.
But
then
yet they
why
were
did
always
you sign
in the public eye.
the deal with Netflix? Why did you go on
Spotify.
Oprah? Why did you Spotify?
Yeah.
Right? If you guys were so concerned about the public life and you guys wanted a nice little quiet cottage, you guys are choosing to go out and put yourselves at the forefront of everybody. Yeah. And it was weird. I was watching the first 10 minutes of the documentary earlier today, just the first episode, and it's kind of cute. You know, they're showing them how they met, but at the same time, I'm like, wait,
They met on
who
Instagram.
cares?
They met on Instagram. So let this
They
be
did?
let this
No.
be a message.
Who slipped into whose DMs?
I didn't get that far. I just know that they said they met on Instagram. So let this be known, guys.
Yikes.
Like, shoot your shot. You may end up with
Meghan Markle.
I wonder if he slid into Meghan Markle's DMs or the other way around. The thing is, like, it's so obvious from Meghan Markle's past career in blue-collar acting and modeling, basically, that she wanted to go in and manipulate Harry, the beta cuck that he is, into being her show dog and her, like, riding on the coattails of that family name all the way to the status of fame that she's at now. They wanted all of the notoriety and fame and privilege that comes with being royals, but then shrugged off all of the responsibilities and expectations, meaning they wanted to be what the Kardashians are, and yet there's still a sad, pitiful excuse for the Kardashians, which is, I can't think of like a lower insult. And Piers Morgan has been lambasting them on Twitter.
He has a funny hatred for Meghan Markle that I actually
He even words it very cleverly. Here's one of his tweets. He said, "Disgusting how they're repeatedly trying to brand Britain a racist country. Most tolerant place in Europe, as all the coverage of their engagement and wedding showed." And he called this docuseries a nauseatingly self-serving, narcissistic, rehashed whine-a-thon, and published a piece this morning in the New York Post, which he titled, "Meghan and Harry are the royal version of the Kardashians, only with less class, loyalty, or brains." Which is absolutely true.
Definitely less
currently,
loyalty.
his Avi on Twitter is a picture of him with Queen Elizabeth as well, and he's saying that they're dishonoring her memory only a few months after her death. I suppose they couldn't have foreseen that since this has been in production since 2020. Actually, here's something really interesting, a little bit of trivia about this docuseries. It was directed by a woman named Liz Garbus, who directed The Handmaid's Tale.
Oh, that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense.
It's so fitting for Meghan Markle's dramatized victimhood narrative about how she was treated so unfairly and cruelly oppressed while being a literal princess.
If it was really that bad, then why did they have to put so much? Why did they have to put all this fake footage in the documentary?
Yeah, the stock footage.
I saw this on Twitter
Right.
maybe a day or two ago with all this stock footage that has, they just took it from like other Netflix shows. I think one of the things they got was from like a Trump related thing.
I know exactly where they got the stock footage. Let me tell you guys. For the trailer, Netflix, I guess, was on crunch time, even though this has been in production for 2 years now. They didn't know where to get footage that would show them being, swarmed by paparazzi as they claim they are. But they needed to put forth this framing that the paparazzi is invading their privacy and they're on the run all the time from the public eye. So they got footage from, firstly, a Harry Potter movie premiere in 2011. They got some footage of paparazzi photographing a British model named Katie Price as she was going into a court hearing. They got an overhead shot of Harry and Meghan and their baby looking like they were getting spied on, but it actually came from a pool of 3 photographers that were specifically hired to photograph them while they were on a visit to Cape Town to meet an archbishop there.
Nothing in the world is real if you're seeing it on a computer screen or a TV screen.
And the Trump thing you mentioned, Kellen, was footage of Trump's former lawyer, Mike Cohen, getting swarmed, getting in the car while he was on the way to prison.
Stolen valor.
Not even from the UK.
Well, you guys know why. I figured it out. Why they had to use all this fake footage. It's because the paparazzi are so racist. They didn't want to take photos.
Yeah, they
So
were
true.
they were afraid
they
of
didn't want to take photos of them. They didn't want to swarm them.
Her behavior to me, loath as I am to kind of single her out here, it kind of feels like how people talk about, you can get 1,000 nice things said about you online, but you'll focus on the three negative ones. And it feels like people like her specifically have made an entire business model out of taking the few negative ones and making that your entire identity and your personality. You just have to bag a
Totally.
literal prince.
But it's because
well.
she's a narcissist, and to narcissists, any attention, negative or positive, is all the same to them. It's still a supply for that ego that can never be satiated.
Yeah.
In fact, from one of those stock footage situations, the one where they were getting photographed by 3 like specifically permitted photographers in Cape Town, he came out and tweeted this photograph used by Netflix in Harry and Meghan to suggest intrusion by the press is a complete travesty. It was taken from an accredited pool at Archbishop Tutu's residence in Cape Town. Only 3 people were in the accredited position. Harry and Meghan agreed to the position. I was there. No, it's just a misperception of the truth. We were covering an official visit where they had taxpayer-funded protection on all the trappings. This is just nonsense. The palace was not some setup. No conspiracy here. Just lies and misuse of photos.
It's turning victimhood into a business model. And to do that, you have to, what the director, I'm assuming, was doing is saying, they need to be able to visualize what they've gone through. So what if we don't have any actual evidence of that happening? We need to show them what it was like. And so what if it's not actually shots of them?
Yeah.
It's a documentary. It's kind of like, it'd be funnier if they did like the Cold Case Files thing where they just get reenactments and they have fake Meghan and Harry getting into a car and then have a bunch of fake press passes. They're not even holding real cameras.
That would
That would
funny.
be awesome. I would totally watch that.
A lot of the comments were disingenuously saying, like, they're using the stock footage to capture the vibe. Like, get over it, chill out. And I'm sure that's what their excuse is. But don't tell me they weren't trying to get one over on ignorant viewers.
Yep.
Well, I think they also probably signed a deal for X amount of episodes with Netflix, and then Netflix realized, oh my God, you guys have nothing to say. And they define all this filler. They define all this filler to fill time.
Everyone is saying, people who are reviewing this series are saying there are surprisingly few bombshell moments or reveals in it. It's all just kind of a nothing burger so that they can complain about how hard it is to be them. With no evidence.
Who came up with the term nothing burger, I ask you?
Probably someone who's served a burger with nothing in it.
So it says, it has been reported that the couple met through mutual friends, but Prince Harry reveals that he first saw a goofy Snapchat dog filter of Markle while he was scrolling through Instagram. When a mutual friend had reached out to Markle, they called him Prince Has. Markle shared, I said, who is that? After exchanging phone numbers, they met for a date. So... good for them.
So they talked about that in the first little bit of the documentary, and apparently he showed up 30 minutes late to the first date. And
good power move by him.
Yeah.
You go, King.
And Meghan almost got up and left. She's like, oh, so this is his move, isn't it? I'm like, really? Someone's late. You guys are in a major city and someone's late. Like, that's not a surprise. And you think that's like a move?
No, that could be.
The guy
that could
playing?
absolutely be a move.
I don't know about that.
People are
That's
for
a
Prince
ridiculous
Harry.
way to think.
Like, why does he even need that kind of leverage?
Whether I actually buy that he's that forward thinking, I'm not sure.
He seems like a complete moron.
Yeah.
In fact, like, after they had to, of course, address his scandal where he dressed up as a Nazi at a party in 2005, he was like 19 or 20 years old, by the way. Probably old enough to know that there would be consequences for doing something like that. He said it's the biggest mistake he's ever made in his life, but he used it as a learning opportunity. He talked to like the rabbi of London. He went on a little vacation to Berlin to talk to Holocaust survivors.
Imagine like
aren't you so great?
It's the
But
disease
he
of
is such a
affluenza.
hypocrite. It's just like, you know, a Justin Trudeau or a Gavin Newsom, right, who just can't stop dressing up as other cultures and other races.
Didn't Ralph Northam do it too? Or
was it Ralph Northam or Gavin Newsom? I mixed them up in my head.
I think they both did. But you know what? Like, there was this story about a kid in Texas years ago. Maybe like 5-10 years ago, and he went drunk driving, and tragically, a few of his friends died that night. And he got off on all charges because they said he was too rich to know any better. He came from such a
actual affluenza.
Exactly. And I think that's what you see from these world leaders. Like, all these world leaders have someone powerful that was their mother or father, right? So like Newsom, Northam, Harry, You know, it's like they try. I think they don't know any better. Like, money has cushioned their life. They haven't actually learned any lessons, and when they do learn lessons, it's for a photo shoot.
It's funny because this cushioned life is exactly what Harry is trying to call out in the rest of the royal family, but not himself.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's saying, oh yeah, there's like a huge amount of unconscious bias in the royal family. Here's exactly what he said about that. He said, it's no one's fault, but once it's been pointed out or identified within yourself, you need to make it right with education. It's awareness and constant work in progress for everyone, including me.
Look,
like, talking about racial unconscious bias.
There is nothing.
Even though he's currently married to a woman of color. Like, I just can't imagine speaking like this from your high tower when you are just as bad or worse as all of the people you are calling out. He literally dressed up as a Nazi.
Telling other people that they need to educate themselves is maybe the worst thing in the entire world these days. There's nothing more pretentious than telling somebody that they need to educate themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I feel like it's a waste of your own breath. Like, if they're wrong about something, then you educate them. Don't just be like, oh, educate yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are you doing?
There's no evidence that the royal family or the public in the UK actually has all of this unconscious bias or conscious bias against Meghan Markle for her race, though. Like, there's been no evidence of that, and anytime you try to criticize her, you're accused of being racist.
Right.
It's insane.
I think that's why these topics don't interest me, because it's literally so bonkers that I'm just like, why would we even want to talk about somebody who's an actually became royalty and still find something to complain about? What choice do you or I have? And it really does kind of speak to the idea of your mindset controls your life. You can be poor, you can be extremely poor, you can have nothing in life and be extremely happy. Or you can be rich, have everything, and be extremely miserable. How you perceive the world around you really plays a huge role in what level of happiness you have in the world. And they're clearly, I almost feel bad for them in a way. Like, you're never. I mean, I don't know if they're like this behind the scenes. If what she's displaying to us here is actually who she is, which I highly doubt. I feel bad for her because she's never going to be happy. She's always going to be miserable.
Yeah, no amount of privacy or public attention on either end of the spectrum is going to make you happy if you need validation from other people and you need sympathy in order to just like emotionally survive. Like, even though you're an insanely privileged millionaire with the media mainly on your side, and they're there to protect your reputation at all costs, and you have a PR team that also pays them to write positive articles about you. That's a real story.
A lot of people also don't know that that's a thing, that like people get paid to write articles positive or negative about something. That's that's not a conspiracy theory. That's just how the media works.
It literally is proven that Meghan Markle's PR team was paying out like, I think $20,000 per positive article.
Sign me up.
So I mostly agree with that statement, but I think the way to fix that, for Meghan, if she's truly so concerned with people's opinion of her, is you do need to take yourself out of the busy entertainment world and go live a secluded life. Don't sign a Netflix deal. Don't sign a deal with Spotify. Raise your family and just meet your neighbors. Like, have a normal life. And I think over time, that's the way to do it. She will realize, oh, you know what? I don't need Hollywood, but she's doing this, like, it's very convenient the way she's living her secluded life, Yeah. She's not truly diving into it. She's still holding on to the stick that's connected to the royal family.
Yeah, the thing is, she lives better than all of the middle class British people that she is criticizing for oppressing her or targeting her. And she's not willing to give up the notoriety she has that allows her to whinge about it.
Yeah.
Whinge,
and get sympathy for it. And for a couple that claim they value their privacy so much and they don't even show the face of their baby to the public, yet they're putting out screenshots of text messages, private home videos, private photos from their dates and video diaries, and like content including their son, they are complete hypocrites for claiming that they value their privacy. There are no boundaries.
It sounds like something that somebody said like in the moment and then really regretted it later.
What?
Just saying like, we really value our privacy. Like maybe that was never meant to become as big of a thing as it did. But
or maybe you do, but then you value the money more.
I don't think they know what that means. I don't think they know what that term means. Meghan's been a model. She's been an actress for how long? Harry
From briefcase girl to princess.
Born into the royal family. I don't think they truly know what privacy means. I think what their definition of privacy
could be completely different than what we consider a definition of privacy.
I think they think like, oh, I want to be the person that says where and when I make an appearance. I don't want to be reliant on the Queen or my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
So they think that privacy equals control.
I think that's
And they expect the media as well as the rest of the royal family, which may have conflicts of interest, to protect them and their reputations at all costs when they have their own interests to look out for. One of the most ridiculous and egregious parts of this docuseries so far is that they made this tenuous connection to Brexit and the EU referendum, that it was like happening around the same time as Harry and Meghan's wedding.
I don't have that on here. Can you explain it?
So like there was this narration on the docuseries saying this fairy tale is embedding itself in a nation having a pretty toxic debate about the European Union. Immigration in this country is very often a cipher for race.
I like you can literally this you know what we're reaping the benefits of decades of humanities and liberal arts classes in colleges where you can verbalize and intellectualize absolutely bonkers ideas that have no basis in reality, and as long as it sounds intellectual, people will buy it.
They also said it was an auspicious moment for Britain to be trying to live out this fairy tale story of a fairy tale princess. So they're basically saying that anyone who supported Brexit was a racist.
Of course.
And if you wanted restrictions on immigration in Britain, then you're a racist, which also means you hate Meghan Markle because you're a racist.
You're also
It's all about disdain for ordinary people and celebrity narcissism.
Well, wasn't it a big deal when Harry first said like, hey, I'm going to marry an American? Wasn't it like controversial to begin with?
Fairly.
Like Meghan, you're going to have an uphill
didn't Prince
battle.
Charles do that already?
I don't know. I really don't know. But
also, a lot of people are pointing this out, saying, why is all the attention going to Harry and Meghan when we could be talking about Prince Andrew? And it's like, you're actually just saying that to defend Harry and Meghan because you like Harry and Meghan, not because you want to call out the corruption in the royal family and their ties to like Jeffrey Epstein. You don't actually care about protecting the children. You care about protecting Meghan Markle.
Funny, I know nothing about Kate Middleton, but I already like her. But I already like her more.
Oh, me too. I always have.
Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.